Hiya kids, how you doing? Welcome back to another half-assed tutorial. This week we are looking at the samples again and our little fake delay using the loop. So we are going to be playing with sample length, we're going to be playing with decay a little bit, and the loop. That's how we're going to make our fake delays. What you have to bear in mind when using this technique is that each repetition is going to cut off the previous repetition. Every new trigger cuts off the previous delay, and the delay time will depend upon sample size. I'm going to go through each of these and show you exactly where the issue lies with them all. Let us start with looking at each repetition cuts off the previous one. If we have a look at the samples, I've got some samples loaded on, and if we press our loop and I press, I've got decay set to about 86. I'll give it a fair length so that you can hear it going down. And the sample length here is 120, so it's opened as far as it will go, and the sample start is 0. So that's basically looping that entire sample. If I change the length and I make the length so that it's only 40, not only is the delay time a lot quicker so that the delay is a lot shorter, but it cuts off each echo. If you have a listen to the difference between this and this classic delay, the tail kind of hangs over. You can hear it better if you play two notes. The next thing that we need to bear in mind is that every time you have a new trigger, that will cut off the next part of the delay. If I open up the sample length the whole way, got that regular repeat. If I go, you don't get that click, 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 click. You just get that one repeat. Whereas if I take that off of there and I set the delay up, you get the delay of both of the hits, not just the last one played. So hopefully you've got an understanding that the way that the delay works is not like a normal delay. It only repeats the sound, and as long as you bear that in mind, you've got more to work with. It really starts to get complicated when you think about delay times. We've got our start set to 0, our end to 120, so it's the full length of the delay. If we press in the middle, that gives us 1 delay time. If we go higher up, play a note higher up, pitched higher up, the delay time is quicker. Pitched down, it's slower. So what happens if we choose a different sample? So I've got a shorter one here called Blip. Again, delay time is a lot quicker. And that's because the delay time is dependent upon the sample slices. All of the samples are cut into 120 slices. And it doesn't matter how long the delay is, it's only going to be 120 slices. If you've got 1.1 or 1.2 seconds, it will be exactly the same as if you had a sample that was half that length. You would still have 120 samples. This is fine if you've only got one sample per track, but if you're using conditional and trigger locks, then it becomes an issue. Let me show you. If we were to start sequence now, let's put Blip at the beginning. I'm going to shorten that decay time so it goes away quickest. Now remember, 120, and you've got around about 6 repetitions on the decay. Now if I put in another hit here, but I'm going to change this sample to the one that's a bit longer. You can hear that that delay time is a bit slower. We can if I slow down the tempo, you can hear that. You can hear that the delay time is different on both of those. So what can we do in order to solve this problem where you've got 2 samples that you want to use and you want the same delay time with both samples and you want them on a track so that you're going to flip between the 2? Well, the easy way to do that is to make them both exactly the same time. And the way that I do this is I use Audacity, and I will generate silence in Audacity, and then I will import the sound that I want as another track, and then I will merge those tracks down so that you have the sample firing off at the beginning and then silence at the end to give you the same amount of time. Let me show you. So we've got our 2 different delay times here. Okay. Now what we need to do is change both of those for the samples that I've prepared in advance that are both the same length but with silence on at the end. So you can hear the silence and you can hear that there's a gap at the end of it. So what happens now, if I change the sample length, I trim off some of the silence at the end. And the delay time is the same on both of them. Now, there's one last thing that I would like to do, just to give it a bit more character, and that's to have a look at the LFO and how you can use that to give it that dub delay effect. So if I come out the samples, if I go into the LFO, and instead of using a normal wave, I'm going to go into envelope. Destination I'm going to have as the cutoff. Cutoff frequency. And the depth now, it puts that into a higher range instantly. So the way that we deal with that, we have to compensate with the cutoff. And by playing with the LFO time on the envelope, you can get that cut off to shut a bit more slowly. Just gives it a slightly different character. Okay. That's all I've got for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. I hope it's given you some ideas of other things that you can and experiment with the samples. The next one that I'm going to do is have a look at how you can use the loop button in synthesis, and we'll explore what the single cycles mean and how you can make almost a wavetable synth, or how you can make some glitchy weirdness. So come back for that one. Subscribe if you've made it to the end. And if you know somebody else who might find it useful, please share it about. See you later, kids. As they say at the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation, share and enjoy.